Day number 5, Mark 3:1-12. Jesus returned to the synagogue. A man with a withered hand was there. Wanting to bring charges against Jesus, they were watching Jesus closely to see if he would heal on the Sabbath. He said to the man with the withered hand, "Step up where people can see you." Then he said to them, "Is it legal on the Sabbath to do good or to do evil, to save life or to kill?" But they said nothing. Looking around at them with anger, deeply grieved at their unyielding hearts, he said to the man, "Stretch out your hand." So he did, and his hand was made healthy. At that, the Pharisees got together with the supporters of Herod to plan how to destroy Jesus. Jesus left with his disciples and went to a lake. A large crowd followed him because they had heard what he was doing. They were from Galilee, Judea, Jerusalem, Idumea, beyond the Jordan, and the area surrounding Tyre and Sidon. Jesus told his disciples to get a small boat ready for him so the crowd wouldn't crush him. He had healed so many people that everyone who was sick pushed forward so that they could touch him. Whenever the evil spirits saw him, they fell down at his feet and shouted, "You are God's Son." But he strictly ordered them not to reveal who he was. The miracle on Techwood Drive that netted one of the most improbable wins in Georgia Tech football history was just a wild and crazy play. On October 24th, 2015, the Jackets hosted ninth-ranked and undefeated Florida State, which had won 28 straight conference games. Tech, meanwhile, was enduring what would be the worst season of the Paul Johnson era so far. But the Jackets played inspired football. As time was running out, the score was tied at 16, and FSU lined up for a try at a 56-yard game-winning kick. Tech lineman Patrick Gamble got a hand on the ball, which died on the turf at the Tech 22-yard line. It was the first block of Gamble's career. "I thought it was over," Gamble said, referring to his play rescuing Tech and sending the game into overtime. He wasn't the only one as the chaos reigned. On the sideline, Johnson feared a fumble and shouted for his players to stay away from the ball. On the field, sophomore defensive back Lance Austin hesitated as he stood over the ball. Austin wasn't even supposed to be on the field. He was playing because starting cornerback DJ White and his replacement, Step Durham, were both injured. As Austin looked down at the ball, he thought, "Why not?" So he picked it up and took off into Georgia Tech football history. He raced 78 yards untouched for the game-winning touchdown. The first player to meet him in the end zone was his brother Lawrence. Then everything went totally wild and crazy as the delirious Tech players and fans poured onto the field to celebrate the 22-16 win. Part of the lure of sports is how great the game sometimes laps into the wild and crazy, such as that Tech win over FSU. But ponder a moment the notion that Jesus calls each one of us to a wild, crazy, and adventuresome life, though perhaps not one as bizarre as that of John the Baptist. If this is true, then why is it that church and faith life quite often seems so boring to many of us? Why don't Christians lead lives of adventure and excitement? Many do. Heading into the uncharted waters of the mission field is certainly exciting. Helping the homeless turn their lives around isn't dull at all. Neither is working with youth, teaching Sunday school, entering the chaplaincy for the military, or riding with a Christian biker gang. The truth is, too many of us play it safe. We prefer to do what we want to do rather than what God calls us to do. As a result, we pass on the chance for our lives to be a great adventure story. We may just be common, ordinary folks, but if we truly follow Jesus, there is nothing common or ordinary about our lives. I thought the play was dead. I was celebrating and yelling, and then I heard the crowd first. I was like, wait. Patrick Gamble on the wild and crazy game-ending play versus FSU. We are a bunch of wild and crazy guys and girls when we truly surrender our lives to Jesus.